You know, I like controlling the audio, Timbo.
This is the MMA Takes Podcast. With your host, Brian Petrie.
Do you guys hear the theme music?
It's the Oscars, right?
Yes, the award show's here, everybody. Welcome to the MMA Takes Awards Show 2021. I feel like we do this every year. Some maybe not. We got some awards. We got Christian in the islands. He's an island boy.
Bye.
I love it. How long you been in Hawaii?
Since the Christmas Eve, 24th.
I love that your work lets you. I couldn't get it. I would have to kill somebody to get a day off in December. You get to take your vacations in December. That's pretty sweet, bro.
I
love the flight.
They can't afford to lose me, so. It's from Denver. It's like 6.5 hours, but we flew to Oakland first.
Okay.
Oakland.
We were talking about it.
You get out. Did you see Oakland Tony out there?
No.
Oh, you just see it. There's a white guy walking around Oakland called Oakland Tony. You gotta meet him.
Just the airport. Just the airport.
Okay. Do you count? Let me ask you a question before we get in the awards. Do you count as a city you've been to? No, neither do I.
Hell no.
No.
But I've been to Oakland.
We did that. One guy's like, yeah, I've been to like 50 states or whatever, and we're like, what? Okay, name them. And he's like, well, I had a layover here. I never fucking count. He's like, well, I bought something. No, just because you bought a soda in fucking Denver doesn't mean you've been to Denver. Like I've been to Denver. I had a layover in Denver, but I haven't been to Denver. You know, I feel like you haven't been to Denver until you meet John Elway. I think that's like kind of a rule. You got to meet Horseface, and then you've been to Denver. And in this case.
If you
Christian.
meet me, then
Christian. Now you're right. My new rule was John Denver. Now it's Christian. You meet CC, you've been to Denver. All right. The award show's here, everybody. We've been teasing about it. I don't have any addictions in my life. Maybe caffeine. But I'm addicted to fighting because it's been rough. It's been rough without fights. I mean, this is going on a month now. I mean, we're going to be just shy of a month for next week when December 18th is the last card. I'm jonesing for it. I've been watching a lot of old fights and gearing up, doing the podcast. Whenever I don't have like my mind occupied, I miss gambling. I miss it all, boys. I know you guys bet on other things I don't, but I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about these fights. We got some winners. We got some awards to hand out. I've reached out and I did DM every single fighter that won that I could DM that had Instagram, but some, a couple of these other guys didn't, or people did not. No one responded, so no one wants to accept the award. So fuck them. So it's good. I mean, I can't imagine the winner of You're Not That Guy, Pal would really want to come on and accept the award, but why not? You know what I mean? Own your losses. But how we feeling, Timbo? You feeling good, babe?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm missing fighting for sure, but fucking betting on soccer during the day and
nice.
Yeah, some basketball that's irrelevant right now, and some football like this weekend. Like, who knows what games are actually going to matter? But I have to do what I got to do to get by until next week.
Till next week, yeah. We got Brandon Allen versus Case Keenum, I believe, for the Bengals-Browns game. So that's a fucking barn burner matchup right there. Make sure you hammer that.
Those are both Broncos quarterbacks too.
What? Yeah, man. The Broncos are letting go of some good people. Yeah. What are you guys doing over there? Hanging on their tiny hands, Drew Lock? I don't know, man. But this is the award show. We're going to talk all the awards that we're going to give out. I have a little slideshow we're going to throw up right now. So here we go. First award, the Henry Rodengarter Rookie of the Year. Henry Rodengarter, he was the young kid that broke his arm that was able to pitch about 1,000 miles an hour, played for the Chicago Cubs. It was a true story. One of the great movies, Rookie of the Year. So here the nominees are Chris Curtis. It is Ian Gary and Bruno Silva. Do you guys want to talk about your nominations? I had Ian Gary. I obviously won it, Chris. This was an award that Christian brought up, and he nominated Chris. He stole him from me, so thank you, Christian. And but I went with Ian Gary. I thought he looked pretty good in his debut. I think he looked okay, but I did think there was a lot of star power. So I thought he maybe should got it. I would have liked to see him fight more than once. So that one fight was cool, but you fought Jordan Williams, who's kind of a fucking bomb, and it is what it is. Timbo, you have Bruno Silva. Dude's just knocking everyone out. You like homeboy here? You think he won?
So Jesus, I might have just had a seizure. I'm trying.
Sorry, but I'll talk. I've had one. I'll talk you through it. Just don't bite your tongue. All right, we're getting loose here. Getting loosey.
I think. Chris Curtis is like the most like surprising. He's such a big dog in both of his fights.
Yeah.
Ian Gary, he's got the following. Bruno Silva, I think, is pound for pound, possibly the rookie of the year here. But
yeah.
We'll see what the
voting is. And Christian, you want to back up your Chris Curtis? I saw that your lovely wife Molly tweeted at him, and he helped her win some money from Lock in the Night challenge. So is this a thanks for greasing my pockets nomination, or is this something that you're like, you know what, this guy deserves it?
No, that was cool though that he gave her that shout out.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it with him, and we may be biased because you're the biggest Chris Curtis fan.
Sure.
And, like, by osmosis, I think we are also huge fans. But especially, when I talk about this sometimes, but he was headlining the Fury FC card. I went and saw in Denver, and then the dude gets and we're a gambling show, plus 400 underdog. Like, he gets his ass kicked and knocks out blonde Phil Hawes and that's at Madison Square Garden. It just was a huge moment, and he's just so likable on camera. I thought he really stood out. Anybody that is voting on this stuff knows, has seen him in some sort of regional fight. So I think he got the opportunity to shine, and just like Henry Rowengartner, he made the most of it.
Made the most of it. This is a guy, Chris is so unique and interesting person. He always has been. Made a little bit of money this year. First time ever making like a good chunk of change. Regional machines only pay a couple thousand. I'm sure PFL paid him decent, but he won a bonus, $50K. Guy's never had a vacation in his life, right? He's never been able to afford one. He's always been training. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to go on a vacation. The guy decides to go to Turkey as his number one day. Vacation spot. That's the brain we got to deal with here. On top of the fact that this is Sean Strickland's right-hand man. And Sean Strickland, as we know, is fat shit crazy, nuts, says whatever he wants. And Chris kind of is like, they're very yin and yang. Chris is definitely a unique person, a unique individual, but doesn't have the same sentiments as Sean Strickland does, and knows how to wrangle them. So I thought it was a good nomination, all apart over. Bruno Silva got quite a bit of votes. Ian Gary got one, and Chris Curtis won it. Chris Curtis got most of the votes. I do think a lot of people voted this Chris Curtis. I think he deserves it 100%. It was going to be my nomination, but I think also people know that I'm pretty close to him, so they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna give the guy, you know what he is." But he did win Comeback Fight of the Year for MMA Junkie. This guy has won a couple year-end awards. Chris was going to come on, but again, he's in Turkey. That's how I found out he was in Turkey. He said, "Hey, I just got my passport stamped. I'm on my way to fucking Turkey." And I'm like, "What's that? Like training?" It's like, "No, I've always wanted to go to Turkey." I'm like, "Okay, cool.
That's interesting."
Yeah, sure. I guess. There's tons of places to go. That's where you want to go. So Chris Curtis is your Henry Rodengar Rookie of the Year. Congratulations, Chris. He earned it. He had a great, fantastic fucking year this year. Couldn't be happier for the guy.
What I was trying to say about Chris, I couldn't think of his fucking name to save my life. He's UFC's Brandon Weidman. Remember Brandon Weidman was like a 30-year-old rookie?
Yeah.
That's Chris Curtis.
Okay, but Brandon Wheaton stunk.
Very true. He did it. I think it was like Texas Tech. He played it though. He was like really good.
Great in college. The Browns ruined him for sure. But Chris Winky's another one. Chris Winky was a really old Florida State quarterback that came out. All right, you're not that guy, pal. The award, Timbo nominated this. This is Timbo's one of his favorite things, I believe. Oh, let me pull it up here. I do have some sound cues, because Timbo did request sound cues here. So this is you're not that guy, pal.
Send him home.
Nope. Hang on. Here we go. Maybe I just do it this way. Nope. Okay, hang on. Technical difficulties. This is why we're doing it live. I'm thinking in the new year, boys.
I love the pictures in the background.
That is good, isn't it? Dude, I fucking searched for like every slide's gonna have a picture. It was fun. All right, here we go. In bank 2. I was very ill prepared. I've had all week to do this. I'm never put. You're not that guy, pal.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
You know what's great about this guy is he became an immediate superstar after that, right? You know, even if he's an asshole, right? But no one's got him on a podcast. No one's talked to him. He hasn't won any of that shine. But he fucking laid into this because the kid that was filming it got some shine. This skater little dork that commented why he didn't have a mask on. You're not that guy, pal. Fuck you where you breathe. And I believe him. I think this guy can throw down. You know, he doesn't have the strongest jaw in the world, but I bet he can throw down. So obviously you're not that guy, pal. A tough year for some of these guys. Cody Garbrandt, Conor McGregor, Jim Crute are the nominees. Cody Garbrandt was going to be my nominee. So that was Timbo's. I agree with you, Timbo. Cody Garbrandt is a guy I was very, very high on. That Dominic Cruz performance is burned into my fucking brain. And then you just completely fall off the map. I don't understand. I mean, you get knocked out by Carl France, who fucking knocks out nobody. I know it was a bad cut to 125 to begin with. But I went with Jimmy Crute. I have a problem with Jimmy Crute. This fucking guy, he could have been nominated for the mullet. He thinks he's so cool. Aussie, you know, I surf and I got a mullet, you know, I probably bang chicks. And Jamal Hill fucking sleeps him. And then he got his foot kicked off in the Anthony Smith fight. You're not that guy. You're not this high-ranked guy everyone thought you were. Sorry, Jimmy Crute. I didn't even put the Jimmy. I just put you Jim. You're just Jim Crute to me. Timbo, talk about your nomination here, Cody Garbrandt, which I think is a really good one. And then we'll get to Christian's little nomination as well. He's fucking kind.
I mean, so Cody Garbrandt, actually, I think he fought twice in 2021. He had a fight against obviously
Robbie Font,
France, and then the Rob Font fight.
Rob Font, yeah.
And he managed to survive the Rob Font fight, which is it makes him even more not that guy, because like, it's one thing if you don't have a chin, like if you're good on all fucking sides of the field except for the fucking chin issue, and then you just can't break that. Well, like he was looking very timid against Rob Font. He was getting pieced up. He was backing up. You know, he hung in there. So, you know, props to that. But it's clear that his chin is in fact not in shape. And he's just like, I don't know if it was like he got the starlight too early. And, you know, I don't know if it's Team Alpha Male is not really the place to be anymore. I think Song Yadong is still there, if I'm not mistaken. He's kind of like the last
Song's there.
Saving grace.
Yeah, Yadong's there. Yeah, they got some up and coming guys, but they don't have a coach. There's no one to lead them. And then he went to Mark Henry, and he actually went to Jersey. Then he stopped doing that, and then he just started like Zooming with Henry. I think getting out of your comfort zone and going to cold New Jersey when you live in California is good for you. It makes you want it a little more, and that's what he did for the Sun South fight. That's the only time he went to New Jersey was a Sun South. He lost his swagger. He lost his confidence. You know, he's second guessing himself. He doesn't engage much anymore. Like you look at the TJ Dillashaw, the first fight, that first round was lights out for him. He looked amazing. And then he got caught in the second round and got put out. And then his confidence has just gone ever since then. All right, Christian, you nominated Conor McGregor. I don't know why. So let's hear why Conors are not that guy, pal.
He's a decision loss away from the trifecta this year. He'll always be, well, in his eyes for sure, the GOAT. He's undefeated still, or he's only lost one fight, but after that first one, that shine kind of went away. I think I actually voted for Garbrandt. I didn't think about that at first because he really is not that guy. There's no chin. Look, I did a little bit of the Conor McGregor thing. It's like, man, this one may have gotten the most votes just because you tossed that name in it.
Right.
So I thought he was a worthy candidate for this award. I mean,
I did.
What did he do?
I'm just giving a shit.
He's a former champ. They're both former champs who haven't won in 5 years. I don't think they're too different. But when I saw Garbrandt's name, I was like, I don't hate that.
Yeah, I thought the same with you. I thought Conor, anytime you put Conor's name there, you're going to have fanboys like me who are going to defend him, or you're going to have people who are realists or who do not like him and go, yeah, that guy sucks. But it was overwhelmingly Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt wins. You're not that guy, pal.
It's a fresh loss too, though.
Yeah, it's the freshest in people's minds. Jimmy Crute didn't get one vote, which very upsets me because I want that guy to win all the shitty awards. But yeah, Conor got a few votes, but overwhelmingly Cody Garbrandt got a lot. Like pretty much every Instagram vote was Cody Garbrandt. And Twitter as well. I think he won the poll on Twitter as well. Yeah, it's just a guy like Cody and then he runs his mouth too. He's like arrogant, which I like, but he doesn't show up arrogant on fight night. He shows up timid and afraid to engage and afraid about his chin. I think a lot of chin issues, I've talked about this before, I think a lot of it's mental. I think if you go in there knowing you can get touched and be knocked out, you're going to get knocked out. You got to have a little crazy. Like Tony Ferguson's probably been knocked out 4 times in a fight. Just never gave into it. Goes, not going to be me.
Just somersaults.
Yeah, not me. Sorry, no brain. Like Diego Sanchez in his prime. That you could hit that guy with a bat. He ain't going away. It's that certain kind of ego crazy that every fighter has to access. Maybe not to the level of Tony Ferguson, but they have to access it. And Cody looks so good against Dominic Cruz and has all this and looks so good in round 1 against TJ as well. And then just kind of fell apart. And I think a lot of it has to do with his mental and where he's training. I'm glad, Timbo, you brought that up. Team Alpha Male is just not what it is. He's a very loyal guy, so I doubt he's going to leave or whatever. But Cody Garbrandt, you're not that Guy Power Award 2021. Maybe you have a better 2022. All right, Joe Dirt Award, best mullet coming on up. Another Christian award here. I got a little soundbite here.
No, man, but you got to keep going. What am I going to do? Quit? That's not an option. You got to keep on keeping on. Life's a garden, dig it. You make it work for you. You never give up, man. That's my philosophy. You hear that in there?
Joe Dirt, one of my all-time favorite movies. Saw this in 8th grade. A little quick story about the Joe Dirt thing. Joe Dirt. I worked at Hollister when I was in high school. I was a sophomore in high school. I worked at Hollister.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I'm folding clothes, and my manager was this Mark guy. And he was a good-looking dude, and like every chick came in there and was obsessed with him. Right? He's older. He's in his 20s. And he went up to this girl, and there's a line from Joe Dirt. He goes, "Hey, how about me and you hang out sometime?" Nah, I'm just kidding, but seriously, let's hang out. And like, it was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And he got the girl's number, and it was a quote from Joe Dirt, which is my favorite movie. So I'm so glad this award, Joe Dirt, the award for the best mullet, unbelievable. The nominees are Ricky Simone, Tanner Bozier, and Roy Nelson. I put Roy Nelson in black and white because he's black and white at this point. At one point, he did have a phenomenal mullet. That was Timbo's nomination. Timbo, you admittedly said you kind of struggled. You didn't know who had a mullet, right?
Yeah, well, Ricky Simone, and I can't remember. I think it was Christian had said that he either cut it or didn't cut it. But he ended up doing the opposite. So yep. Did he have a mullet his last fight? He
had a mullet his last fight, but he has cut it in between fights before. Like the time before 2 fights ago, he didn't have it. He said something like his wife liked him without the mullet or something like that.
Go figure. Yeah. But he would have been my guy just because he was fucking Liu Kang. Like he had to look for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was struggling. I didn't think about and not that he would deserve any type of award except for possibly You're Not That Guy, Pal. Jim Crute. Fuck him.
Jimmy Crute. Yep, Jim Crute.
Yeah, so I didn't know I know Roy Nelson's been in Bellator and I don't know if he was fighting or not, but it was that good that even he can also be in Rise from the Dead for this particular category.
Sure. I don't think it's a bad nomination. I mean, Roy Nelson had a beautiful Kentucky waterfall. And that picture right there, that Mississippi mudslide right there is fucking gorgeous. My nominee was Tanner Bozier. Again, there wasn't a ton to choose from. I'm never going to nominate Jimmy Crute. That guy can suck a dick. But Tanner Bozier, Canadian. I feel like Tanner Bozier, he's not doing a mullet to be like cool, right? I just think he just like that's the like he probably calls it what they called it when I grew up, an STLB, short top, long back. You know what I mean? This guy doesn't understand, like it's not like a hipster movement, it's not like ironic. He's just doing it because that's what they do in his part of Canada. So I had to nominate Tanner Bozier, but the nomination of Ricky Simone, that would have been my vote. That was Christian's nomination. Christian, you want to say anything about Ricky Simone here?
No, I mean, his mullet's beautiful, though.
Gorgeous.
And how he cut it and it grew back and it's like so thick and so big. Like, I have no idea.
I think he's got a little Native American in him, right? Because, I mean, those guys get luscious black hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And his, the color of his, just the way it flows when he, when he bounces. Just... the only other ones that came to mind, as somebody that has a mullet, this is something
Who? Sorry?
As somebody else that has a mullet.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry. I thought you said a name.
So the ones I thought were Brendan Allen and Mario Bautista. Those were the ones throughout the year that I was like, damn.
Yep.
Didn't Francis Ngannou kind of have like a weird thing going on?
Amanda Nunes had one.
Oh,
Amanda Nunes had
back in
one.
the day.
Francis Ngannou had, when he first came in, he had like those weird braids. And then, now it's like, I don't know. He kind of rocks. He shaves it to the side. I don't know if it's considered a mullet. There's some unique hairstyles out there. I thought of Mario Batista, but I bet on him and he got knocked out. So I was like, I can't nominate this guy because what if he wins? Jimmy Cruz, another one I thought of. I didn't think of Amanda Nunes and I didn't think of Brendan Allen because, Chris Curtis murdered Brendan Allen. But surprisingly to no one, Ricky Simone got all the votes. Ricky Simone won this one in a landslide. No one voted for Tanner Bozier. I think a couple votes came in on Twitter for Roy Nelson. My buddies at work who don't know much about MMA, they know the name Roy Nelson, so they voted for him. But Ricky Simone in a landslide, rightfully so. His mullet is absolutely gorgeous. And Christian, this was Christian's nomination. He has a mullet, and this is his award that he offered up as well. So it's only right that Christian knows his shit about mullets. You know what I mean? If we had a Cincinnati Chili Award, I'm going to take that one home. But Christian knows a lot about mullets, and Ricky Simone is your fucking 2021. I know it's 2022, 2021 winner, and he could probably win again. He could fucking repeat, four-peat. As long as he keeps that fucking thing going, as long as he doesn't listen to his wife.
I bet we tweet this award to them. He'll give it a like or something. I bet we could. Yeah, I'm
gonna tweet out all the winners, like all these graphics I have on my phone. I'm gonna tweet out once we do the podcast, and I'll tag them in. I wanted to tag them in the polls. I could tag them on Instagram, but I didn't do that. I want to tag them in the polls on Twitter, but you couldn't do that. So
yeah, it'd be nice for like the post fight because you could. We'll get there, but yeah, that's why I sent you guys the link because I'm like, man, being able to see them especially for casual or not casuals,
right? I bad news for you. I tried to download the post-fight videos and StreamYard, they're too big for StreamYard.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, so I'm like, I was like, because you have to have a certain video format. I don't want to get technical, but I was trying all week to do it because that's the only visual that we would have was a post-fight, show some audio and stuff, but we'll move on. We'll move on to the next award. The end is now. Please retire award. These are the fighters that we all think should retire. There's a sign in the back that says retirement, next exit. That's what they need to be doing. I offered up Marlon Moraes, old Mickey Mouse voice himself. I feel like this guy keeps getting fights booked. He's not taking breaks. He keeps getting knocked out. I'm worried about his health. I know he's not the oldest on this list, and I know, maybe he can turn it around, a lot of people think, but ever since he left New Jersey and went to Florida, like something happened to him. I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of steroid allegations when he came over from World Series of Fighting to begin with. No cardio, no chin. I'm terrified about him. I actually thought this was a really good nomination for me. I know Cowboy Cerrone and Frankie are obviously really good nominations as well. Those are the other nominations. I thought this was a good nomination. Spoiler alert, not a single fucking person voted for Marlon Moraes. Not one person. I really thought this was a good one. And as I say that, I'm taking a button down. We're going to go button down a little bit. Hey. Show a little meat. A little meat here. Getting hot in the award show. So which one of you boys all put up Cowboy Cerrone? I forget.
That was me. I'm not even going to explain that one any far. I think that's just enough said. Marlon Moraes, he might be losing, but I could watch him fight. I mean, he could be 0 in his next 10, and I'm like, I don't want him to retire because I love when he's out there. So Frankie Edgar's, he's washed also. Yeah, Frankie Edgar's, he just had like back surgery or something. He had some kind of major surgery or something like that. So Timbo, you offered up Frankie. You're confident with your nomination. You like your nomination. Do you regret it? Who did you vote for? Essentially.
Frankie Edgar's going to get this. It's and the thing is, like, it's not that people hate him because he's still beloved, but it's just like, stop. It's the Michael Jordan meme thing. Like, stop, get some help because it's been vicious. Like even Marlon Moraes, like Christian said, like I still fuck with him, and I'll probably, depending on who he's fighting, I might bet him. Because he's still like, the Merab fight. Jesus Christ, he fucking. Damn near finished Merab.
Almost killed him.
Yeah, there was a fight even with Henry Cejudo. He looked really, that was like a couple years ago now, but looked real good in that one. Can't remember any of his more recent fights, but Cowboy Cerrone, I don't think he's he's another beloved one, but he's not like Frankie Edgar beloved. He's not a former champion, and he doesn't have an entire city on his back or an entire state like Jersey with Frankie. So I think it's gonna be overwhelmingly Frankie.
Overwhelming Frankie. So again, like I spoiled, Marlon get invites. I would still vote for Marlon. I don't want to see this guy get knocked out. This was the closest poll we did.
Oh, no shit.
Closest one. There's some close ones, but this was very competitive. I got a lot of split on IG. Both my buddies text me different ones. The winner of the end is now. Who should retire? Cowboy Cerrone.
Oh,
yeah,
what?
Cowboy.
Damn.
Yeah, very, very close. It might have not helped that Cowboy grappled over the weekend or 2 weekends ago and got submitted by Joe Selecki pretty easily.
Oh, he was there at that Fury thing?
Yeah, he grappled Joe Selecki, another UFC lightweight who's just okay, and Cowboy got rear naked choked. So that didn't help, but this is a tight race. I thought Frankie was going to be landslide because everyone loves Frankie. No one wants to see him get knocked out. No one wants to see him get beat. Cowboy is one of those guys who's, even when he gets beat, though, he's going to get on the mic and go, yeah, let's grab a beer, and everyone's going to go crazy. Frankie gets on the mic, he like cries, like he wants it bad. So I did think Frankie was going to win. It was very, very close. Marlon Rice got no vote, so he didn't vote. He didn't take a vote away from either of these guys. It was surprisingly close. And Cowboy Cerrone, people want to see him retire. I think both Frankie and Cowboy have enough money at this point that they could retire. Frankie's a former champion, one of the best at 155. Fought for the title at 145, 135. The guy could retire and be fine. Cowboy definitely failed expectations. He fought for the title one time and got finished by Dos Anjos. So, yeah, it was a little surprising as well. But Frankie and Cowboy, I thought were very, very good. But for some reason, I thought Marlon was a good pick too. But everyone said, fuck you, Brian. All right, corner person of the year. Nominees are Jim West, Trevor Whitman, Latore Gonzalez. There's a lot of debate. Did Latore corner Mike this year? I think she did. I didn't do the proper research.
Yeah,
confirm that.
Remember, that was we were like TMZ on that one, trying to figure out if she was there that night. I'm
pretty sure she did it because she did one where she was just her, and then she did another one with other people with them. And I think that was in 2021. Trevor Whitman, obviously, that was my nomination. That's just kind of your square pick nomination because Coach of the Year. Well, you know what I mean. And then Jim West, a guy who I didn't know, Timbo, that's your nomination. That was Aspen Ladd's coach, right?
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but this is one of the controversial picks that I just wanted to bring up, and I thought it was funny.
So I must have missed the Jim West Aspen Ladd thing. Did he like yell at her or something in the corner?
He was basically saying, "Stop being a bitch."
Stop being a bitch.
He's like yelling at her, like, "What are you doing? Like,
gotcha.
What are you? You're not gonna win this fight if you keep doing what you're doing. What are you doing?" He's like, and she's like on the brink of tears, like.
I missed that one.
It's just tough love. I'm a fan of tough love.
Right. Latore Gonzalez was Christian's nomination. Obviously, she's one of the best around. Took a step back after being pregnant and having a child. Well, no, she's cornered pregnant. Took a step back after she had the child. But you think she's going to get back in there and corner him? He just got the bare knuckle fight announced with Julian Lane. So
let me bang, bro.
Yeah, let me bang, bro. He's gonna bang. He's gonna get his fucking head knocked off. Do you think she's gonna get back in there, Christian?
I would imagine she'll be there.
Okay.
I mean, ever since he left the Platinum Princess, she's been there right by his side. I mean,
right.
They
break up every other weekend, but yeah, when they're together, she's by his side.
As long as they're together on Saturday, I expect her to be there. But I wish her solo cornering was this year. I was thinking it was, but it wasn't, because I think she would have been the runaway winner.
100%. Yeah. So Jim West got none of the votes, and a lot of people. Yeah, sorry. A lot of people voted to Trevor Whitman's your winner. Corner person of the year is Trevor Whitman. Latore Gonzalez actually did get quite a bit of votes. I think she might even won on Twitter, but a lot of people on IG and Friends voted Trevor Whitman. And then a couple people on IG said, "Where's James Krause?" That's, because I posted each graphic and two people commented, instead of voting, "Where's James Krause?" So they're very upset that James Krause, James Krause got a big following out there. A lot of people like James Krause. But listen, Latore Gonzalez, James Krause, you get a pick.
Well, and also, in my humble opinion,
yes,
James Krause, Trevor Whitman, because me and Christian were clearly.
You did the jokey, and I went serious, and I finally won one. Yeah,
right. Trevor Whitman is the best coach. And it's not even close in my opinion.
Right.
James Krause is there, but Trevor Whitman's by far
he's
easily the best.
He's
coach.
unbelievable.
It's not even competition.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. And I like Trevor Whitman a lot. I have, he makes gear equipment, and I have a pair of his boxing gloves. They're incredible. I like his coaching style. I mean, if I ever was a fighter, that's where I would go with Trevor Whitman. He only takes, he does it right. Instead of overloading himself like Greg Jackson, because many people don't know this, Greg Jackson, it drove himself nuts. Like, he doesn't really corner that many people. He doesn't really chain many people anymore. He had too many fighters, drove him nuts. And Trevor Whitman only limits he only works with 3 people. He only corners 3 people.
There's 3 champs.
3 champs. He'll cross train with like Corey Sandhagen and Drew Dober over at the other Colorado gym, but he doesn't corner those guys. Like, he only corners and head coaches 3 people. And I think he's incredible. Yeah, I went super unoriginal. I try to think of like maybe Josh Fabia, but I really fucking hate that guy. I was trying to think funny, and I'm like, I just got to go Whitman here. I felt like I phoned it in, but like, he won, with some recommendations of James Krause. Next up.
Before we start,
yeah,
because this is a good one. But that last graphic was tremendous again.
Which one, with Trevor Whitman?
Yeah. That's the Mick in the back.
Mick in the corner? Yeah, that's Mick. Yeah, Mick from Rocky. The greatest cornerman ever lived. Yeah. He's an animal, Rocco kill ya. Next up, the Hubba Hubba Award, which I'm proud of this. That's Chris Farley from the gay beer, the commercial from SNL. Whoa. So this is the best looking fighter award. I believe I got a little soundbite for the Hubba Hubba.
Hubba Hubba.
Bart Simpson.
Yeah. I know. I've been saying Hubba Hubba my whole life. I've never been a Simpsons fan. I don't know where I got it from. It might have been from The Simpsons. The Hubba Hubba Award, best looking fighter. My nomination: Randy Costa, Juliana Pena, and Drew Dober coming in for Christian. Christian, was this a little bit of hey, you trained in Colorado? Because Timbo has said on record, and I should have pulled the tapes, that he doesn't think Drew Dober is good looking, and then he looks like Marvin Vittori, the fucking sloth looking bitch.
Yeah, I thought it's funny. I was talking to my mom about this, and I was like, I came up with, and she's a big fight fan, like she knows who all these people are. I'm like, I could barely come up with a girl for this category for some reason. It's just like, but that, I mean, I can't remember who else was. What's his name? Carlos Olberg and and the Brazilian dude that break dances, and he doesn't do it. It does the backflips.
Michael Pereira?
Pereira?
Yeah, Pereira. Yeah.
You think he's good looking?
Yeah, he's good looking. He's 100%.
I think he's like one of those guys that, like, if you go to like a resort in Hawaii, he teaches you yoga and fucks your wife.
He's
behind your back.
What's the couples retreat?
Couples retreat. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Boom. He's like fucking hump. Boom.
Dober's jaw. It's unrivaled.
His jawline is absolutely phenomenal. Surprise nomination from you. I really thought you were going to go somewhere else. I could have named like 10 females. I really did, but I'm like, you know what? If both guys go female, right? I don't want to feel like this is a sexist award. I'm a heterosexual man. I can appreciate beauty. I think Randy Costa has had a dog shit year, hasn't won a fight, but he's a great looking guy. Great sleeve tattoo. Erica, my wife, watched his fight with me his last time he fought, and I mentioned that Christian really likes the sleeve tattoo, and she loves American traditional. She loves it too and thought he was hot. So I'm like, I'm going to go Costa. But I mean, obviously the Mackenzie Derns, and there's a lot of beautiful women out there that could have got this word.
Girl? I can't remember.
Liana Jojua. She could have been up there, man. And then Timbo comes in, gets the champ Juliana Pena, which I like as a nomination because I do think she's very pretty. And I don't know if it's because I just not paying attention, but I don't know if she gets thrown in there that much with like how hot, like how pretty she is. You know what I mean?
I just noticed this when she beat Nunez. It was news to me, so I went with the hot take. But if we're balls to the wall, nuts on the table, Andrei Arlovski is going to be up there for me. Don't care.
I love that you think Andrei Arlovski is so good looking. My buddy who met him thought the same thing. Like, he met him somewhere. I forget where he's at. It might have been Hawaii, because my buddy used to go to Hawaii all the time, and he's a real big guy. And maybe it wasn't Hawaii. I don't know where it was at, but he met him and he took a picture with him. And Andre looked kind of small next to him. This guy's huge, right? And I was like, so what'd you think about him? Was he big? Did he feel strong or whatever? Is he nice? He goes, yeah, he's nice. He's fucking handsome. He smelled great and was good looking. I'm like, really?
He's like Romanian or something.
I know. Well, he's Belarus. He's from Belarus, which is, Russian-ish. But yeah, I mean, I think he's banging Kayla Harrison. He's laying that down, and yeah, good for him. Good for Andre Arlovski. But I'm glad we got a female in there because, I didn't want to, it to be super, I'm glad we got males and females. We split it up. Randy Costa, again, got 0 votes, which I'm very surprised about. Juliet Pena and Drew Dober had a fucking fight. And surprisingly, Hubba Hubba where goes to Drew Dober.
I'm not going to hate on the man's chin either. I didn't say he wasn't bad looking, but he just weirdly reminds me of Marvin Vettori. There's another blonde guy out there too he reminds me of.
You said, I forget who you I know you compared him to Marvin Vettori and someone else, but I looked at Drew Dober's Jimmy Crew. Okay. I looked at Drew Dober's Instagram because I also put a different picture up of like him, like he models too. So he's got a lot of like fucking like I went with this picture instead, but I looked at his thing when he won and he got a lot of votes on IG. I believe he might have even won the Twitter poll as well. And I'm like, I knew he's good looking, but I thought it was kind of a weird choice for Christian to nominate him. And then I go to his Instagram. I'm like, oh, no, I get it. Yeah, this dude's fucking, his jaw could fucking shave diamonds. This thing is fucking sharp. Hubba Hubba Award 2021, Drew Dober. Congratulations, Drew Dober. Hopefully, I don't know if he's a big Twitter guy. Maybe I'll DM him and send this on, because Drew Dober seems like a nice guy. I think he's like religious, right? I think he's a nice dude or whatever. Thought maybe he would respond and maybe come on when he won and didn't,
What's his last fight?
I think he's an Instagram guy.
Yeah, well, that's what I did. I DM'd him on Instagram. Yeah. And he didn't get back to me. His last fight, he fought Brad Riddell. Yeah, in a fucking slap or scrap. Him and Brad Riddell banged it out, and he lost the decision. I believe.
Great fight. Yeah,
it was a great fight. Yep. Next up, finish him. I mean,
time out real quick. My bad.
Yeah,
I got. There's a guy that we left out of that, and he just fought Brad Riddell, and he's got long hair.
Oh, Kyler Phillips.
Kyler Phillips.
He didn't fight Brad Riddell, but Kyler Phillips fought.
Knew that.
Yeah, Kyler Phillips fought. He lost a decision to Ryvan Paiva, who Sugar Sean just lost. That's Kyler Phillips, my guy. Kyler Phillips, my guy. Good looking dude. Almost got my nomination, but I felt like I want to win. You know what I mean? I thought Randy Costa was a Twitter favorite. You know what I mean? He's heavy on Twitter. He's got those Twitter fingers. Didn't get much love, right? Didn't get much love, but that was my pick to win. Kyler Phillips is a great looking dude. Kyler Phillips probably surfs, skateboards, does porn. Like that dude's a fucking renaissance man. But finish him. The Finish Him Award, Mortal Kombat. Best finish of 2021. There was a lot to choose from. I went with my heart on this. Curtis K. Hawes. Chris was losing that first round. He was stuck in mud. Lands a left shot. I went absolutely fucking bonkers. I won money. And my good friend won his UFC debut, long awaited. So that was a complete heart pick. I know it wasn't the best KO in the world, but to me, I was like, you know what? That's my favorite KO. I'll never forget that moment. Brandon Allen was a great KO as well. But that was like Madison Square Garden, UFC debut. Unbelievable. I believe Timbo had Yuri KOs Reyes, which would be my vote if I didn't have Chris on here. Unbelievable knockout. I mean, hell of a fight, incredible fight, spinning elbow, fucking face plants him. Unbelievable knockout. Do you have anything to say about that, Timbo, man?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I should have led you in more a little bit.
Yeah, throw me the alley-oop to fucking bang down on Reyes as much as possible because I always will. I'll take every opportunity I get to talk about that scumbag. Yeah, he talked all that fucking shit after he lost to John Jones and he's, I didn't lose. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm a baseball player. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes out there and fucking cost me like 10 grand losing to fucking Jan. And this was you put me on Yuri, well before this fight even. So it was mixed with
you were on that early.
Yuri's just fucking awesome, and my hatred for Reyes just was an excellent time, man. Not to discredit you and Chris's relationship and how friendship and whatnot, but I was probably just as happy when Yuri knocked this fucker out.
No, I know. Reyes didn't he cost you a lot of money at 1.2?
Yeah,
when you actually rode with him, and then the John Jones thing. Yeah, Reyes is a guy I dislike strongly. He's very he has a huge ego. And I think his career, unless he really does something different, might be over. He might just hang his hat on, hey, some people thought I beat John Jones. That might have been enough for him, right? Because he looked good against Yuri. Like he looked shit against Jan. And then he looked pretty motivating as Yuri, but Yuri's just built different. That guy punches trees 150 times a day. That guy wears capes. Motherfucker wears capes. Yuri Prochazka is different. And then Christian went with the Barnett KO over Vellante. Big boy spinning wheel kick to the fucking head. You know what's funny is, I don't want to sound like a hater, but I didn't like that KO. I just thought it was like, cool. But I mean, I could
the front flip afterwards.
I feel the celebration.
Yeah,
was great,
the
but I feel like
in the front or whatever.
I feel like I could spin kick Vellante. I mean, the guy looks like fucking, he's obese. He's fat as shit. And that's coming from a fat guy. He's fat as shit. Like, if me and him stood next to each other with their shirt off, and someone's like, "Hey, which one is the athlete?" I think I might get a couple points my way.
Yeah, didn't Vellante weigh in a t-shirt? I mean, for you, that's you see that. Anytime you see that, it's like I could be at work, and it's like
what are you doing?
It's like hammer it.
I had a buddy growing up, that I've always been a big kid, chubby kid, whatever, and I never give a fuck. Who cares? We grew up with a swim club on our street, right? And for our baseball party every year, we'd have a party at the swim club, and a couple kids on my team who were a little less chubby than me, just a little baby fat, would wear t-shirts in the pool, white t-shirts, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's a white t-shirt. We can see everything. Yeah, we can see everything anyway. You look like an idiot. No one cares that if you got a little bit of a belly, just fucking pop it off. And they wouldn't. They just wouldn't. Then they would say, "Oh, I get sunburn or I had sun poisoning." Fuck off. You're afraid to take a shirt off. Bunch of pussies. So overwhelmingly, the KOs. A couple came in on Barnett, which was surprising me. But Yuri Prochazka won this. I mean, it was the KO of the year. The guy's an absolute madman. Awesome KO over Reyes. And I'm looking forward to him fighting either Rakic or fighting Glover or whatever happens with him. He seems to be ready. You know what I mean? It's going to be, I think it's going to be a good year for him. Yeah, he weighed in. Right. He was the backup. Weighed in, made weight. And then, and so I think with that, I mean, you get paid money for that, but I also got to think if you're in this business, you have managers, you go, hey, he's weighing in, he's cutting weight, he gets next. Mm-hmm. Fuck all the other shit, he gets next. Because I know Alexander Rakic's like, I want to fight him and all this shit, but I mean, Yuri's is a freak.
I wonder if that's ever happened. Not to cut you off, my bad, but I wonder if that's ever happened as far as someone that
Manel Kopp.
Oh, it's for his debut.
His UFC debut, weighed in, but that was kind of a weird situation because I think he was already he was already going to be there. It was one of those weird things, but yeah, I mean, that was going to be his debut, but but I hope he gets next.
Chandler
too. Yep, and then Chandler got it next, right?
Oh yeah,
did he get Hooker? I can't remember. So did he beat Hooker then weigh in and then get Oliveira?
No, I think he weighed in first, and then
I think he weighed in and got Hooker. Yeah, so it's happened before.
Weighed in and missed weight recently.
Yeah,
too.
right. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that hurts.
He could have got best looking guy too. He's a really good looking guy.
Vincent De Luca, yeah, he's one of those guys. It's really interesting to me with some of these guys from Brazil, like Nunes, Luque, Vinny Magalhães. If you guys remember him, speak such good English with their Portuguese accent. And then there's some guys, I think it may be some different parts of Brazil, who've lived in America. Like Vanderlei Silva's English is just, I mean, it's just not there. He's lived here for 20 years. And you got guys who speak it perfectly. And it's just like, I mean, maybe it's just a different learning curve for people. I don't know. I feel like if I lived in like Japan, though, it'd take me 50 years to learn how to speak Japanese. So, well, I don't know what I'm talking about. But some Portuguese guys have really good English. Werdum speaks pretty well. Old Yeller Award, the oldest fighter award. This one, I should have maybe clarified a little bit better. The oldest fighter that really delivered, right? That showed up. Timbo, your nomination was Glover Teixeira. Obviously, he had an incredible year. Title champion, surprised everyone, myself included, and looked unbelievable in every fight. Matt Brown, old Ohio Matt Brown, don't put lime in his dip spit. Matt Brown. That was your nomination, Christian, right?
That was mine, yep.
Yeah. Listen, Matt Brown just got a lot of knockouts. Like, I ain't quitting. And mine was Josh Emmett. This is the one I maybe regret a little bit. I couldn't think of a ton of older fighters that I really want to put up. Every time Josh Emmett fights, people bring up, well, he is 36. He is 37. You know what I mean? In that lighter weight class with him getting hurt a lot. It's kind of a narrative. He didn't get any votes, so it doesn't matter anyway. It was a showdown between Glover Teixeira and Matt Brown. It's actually a lot closer than I thought. So do you guys have predictions on who won here?
I hate Matt Brown. So.
You hate him?
I hate him.
Damn.
Can't stand him. Ever since he fucking disrespected
What did he do?
Fuck, who did he disrespect at the weigh-ins?
Oh, he flicked off the crowd.
No, he didn't flick. Well, he might have done that, but he was an asshole to someone at their weigh-ins, and then he got head kick knocked out by that person. I gotta look it up. But ever since then, and it was the nicest guy too. Like whoever he
was it Cerrone? Cerrone had kicked.
It was Cerrone. It was Cerrone.
Yeah.
He was a dick to Cerrone on the fucking. And he was actually kind of piecing up Cerrone that fight, and then he got fucking head kick knocked out. I loved it. I think I'm pretty positive I'm blocked out by him. Pretty sure. If I'm not, I'm working on it.
I remember going to the UFC when in Cleveland when Stipe fought Alistair Overeem, and they had like the UFC village, and they had like 3 fighters for you to meet. It was Cerrone, Matt Brown, and Cody Garbrandt. And the lines to meet these people were around the corner. And I'm like, Erica's like, let's go stand in line. I'm like, I'm not standing in line to meet another man. Like if they were standing there, I'd go up to him like, hey, what's up, man? Can we get a picture or something like that? Maybe. I don't believe in autographs. I don't want anyone's fucking signature. And it's hot as shit. I'm like, I'm not standing around to meet Matt fucking Brown. I'm like, are you nuts? But he had a line around the corner to meet him. Good for you, Matt Brown. So Glover Teixeira won this one handedly here. Old Yellow World Older Fighters, Glover Teixeira. A couple votes came in for Matt Brown. No one voted for Josh Emmett. And Glover became champion, had a great year, dominated Jan Blachowicz. Jan Blachowicz knew what he was going to do, couldn't fucking stop it. And this is what happens. You get fucking Glover Teixeira as your champion. Yuri hopefully better be training some takedown offense because he's going to take Glover's fucking head off if he doesn't.
He gets hit and then his takedowns get stronger. It's wild.
So strong.
It's wild to watch these fights.
I would love
deserving winner here.
Yeah. I would love just to kind of like clinch up with him. Like, just kind of like Greco him a little bit. I bet he's just so fucking strong. Because Jan Blachowicz is a big, thick dude who had pretty decent takedown offense. At least he had shown in a couple of his recent fights. And Glover just went through him like butter, like nothing. And it hurt him on the feet too. And then this guy, 42 years old, making it fucking work. All right, Rise from the Dead, best comeback. This was a good category, I thought. I thought we all had some really good nominations here. Timbo, right? You did the Merab Moraes fight, which is probably one of the greatest comebacks in the UFC history. Unbelievable. Guida Santos, which I personally love as well, even though I was on the Santos side on that one. I lost that. That was a great comeback. And I don't like Clay Guida, but very impressive there. Santos completely gassed out. And then Gregory Walewski versus Diego Ferrara, I thought was a pretty impressive one too. That wasn't as much like from the dead because Gregor, it was a very competitive first round. It was just like they both were so tired. And then Gregor just put it into a fucking second gear and Ferrara just broke, right? So Christian, let's go Christian here. Christian, Island Boy. Who do you think won this?
I think Merab Moraes won it.
Okay.
I may have even voted for it. Gillespie Ferrer was one of the best round and a half fights you'll ever see. That was, if somebody says they don't like grappling or whatever, it's just fire that one up and be like, oh yeah. Then Guida Santos, that was my nomination. And that some of that may have been just, recency bias because it's still fresh in my head. I also bet Santos, and I think I bet him by a sub. And it's just he could have snatched the neck at any time. So I hate him now.
Yeah, he's dead. He's dead.
He's dead to me. But yeah, these were all really fun fights to watch. When you lose money on one, and you still like it, and it was a good one. So yeah, great nominations, but I think Merab Moraes is that's an all-timer.
All-time comeback. Unbelievable. Merab was, there's a zombie in the background. He was dead. The ref did a great job keeping this guy in it. Ray Longo says every time the ref comes back and goes over the rules of the fighters, Merab, who's very soft-spoken, a sweet guy, literally touches the ref and goes, let me fucking die in there. Do not stop it. Yeah, let me die. And the ref's like, hey, I got to be safe, whatever. But I think with him doing that, gave him some leeway in this fight because he was hurt. He was dead. Amazing comeback. Kristen's laughing at me. And you think that one, Timbo, that's still your nomination? You feel good about that?
Yeah, I do. But the Guida one is not to be fucked with either. He was fucking hurt. And Guida, you think about the Diego Sanchez fight, everybody wants to go back and watch the highlights of that. That went to decision. Right. And Guida got his in too, especially in the grappling round after getting fucking his head nearly uppercutted off his shoulders. Yeah. But yeah, the Merab fight was just and it sucked too, because I'd bet Merab pretty much the rest of the world. But it was one of those fights where, like Christian said, even however it was going to go, I was going to be like, okay, this was awesome to watch. And it's crazy to say, but like I would have loved to lose money that night because I don't fuck with Merab or any of that family. And I like Mariah. I think he's really, it sucks that he's gotten the shitty end of the stick on all these knockouts. But
when you say that family, do you mean the Georgian fighters or like Aljamain and Longo and Sarah?
Oh, Georgian fighters.
Oh, you don't fuck with.
Well, no, I mean like Khabib and all of them.
Oh,
that's Dagestan.
That's Dagestan because
Merab and him weren't they close?
No, because you have a nomination of a Georgia fighter later in this card, Ilir Topuria.
Oh, I didn't know he was.
Yeah,
I'm just ignorant to nationalities.
Giga Kakate.
I don't like grapplers.
Topuria.
Joshua. Don't forget
Joshua. She's banged them all, man. They're all from Georgia. There's like a Georgia Renaissance. There's another fighter I'm forgetting too. Oh yeah, Garam, whatever the fuck. That's Chimaev's boy. But this was actually pretty close. They all got, some decent votes. But Rob's the winner. Merab over Moraes was incredible. It's probably the best comeback in the last 10 years, maybe. I mean, Elkins versus Bektik is up there, but I really like the Merab one because I'm screaming at the TV like he's fucking dead. I'm like, stop the fight. And this guy's and then he's just got that fucking heart, man. There's a lot of fighters in there there's been a lot of fighters. I almost had a category like the biggest quitter of the year, whatever, something like that. Like, because there's so many fighters that quit. Merab's never going to quit. Like, even if he doesn't become champion or even if like he's not your favorite fighter, the dude's not quitting. The dude's fucking, he's in there. He deserves to win this award. So congratulations to Merab on Rise from the Dead. Best comeback award.
For the viewers, my bad.
You go ahead.
For the viewers that haven't seen it, which I'm sure just about everybody has, Chet Congo, Pat Barry. You got it.
That's another good one as well.
That's the best one in my book.
That one hurt me because I was a huge Pat Barry fan. And Congo was dead. And I'm like, yeah. And I mean, I didn't have any money on it, but I'm like, oh, Pat, what?
He died like 3 times.
Yeah, it was crazy. Next up, the Simon Phoenix Blonde Hair Award. If you guys do not know who Simon Phoenix is, he is the blonde bad guy, Wesley Snipes from Demolition Man, one of my all-time favorite movies. And I'm going to air Christian out. This was Christian's award. It was supposed to be the Blade Blonde Hair Superpower Award. Blade, who was played by Wesley Snipes, did not have blonde hair. So Simon Phoenix, which is a cool name, he had blonde hair. He's in the background of this picture right here. He's one of the all-time greatest villains. Nominees are Charles Oliveira, Blonde Brunson, Derek Brunson, and then Patty Pimblett. You had Charles Oliveira. I love his whole crew dyed their hair blonde. He goes blonde every fight now. It's basically platinum. It's dope. I like when fighters do that. And coincidentally enough, since he's been doing it, he became fucking champion. You know what I'm saying? Any fighter out there listening, just dye your fucking hair blonde, okay? That adds a little bit to you. Who do you think won this one, Kirsten? Do you like your vote? Do you like it? What are you going here?
I mean, my top 2 choices were Oliveira, Brunson. I mean, obviously Phil Hawes, just the way he looks with his blonde hair, is also a worthy.
He looks
nominee.
cool, but getting sleet.
Yep. And I was like, how's Tim going to nominate a white guy with blonde hair for this?
I didn't know anymore.
Hey.
But that Beatles style haircut, just the way it shines, I'm like, I see it. It's pretty good.
I love Tim's nomination, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it grew on me a lot. At first, I'm like, oh, man, that's a lazy pick. And then I can just see the little thumbnail of him, and I'm like, that's a good pick.
That's a good pick. Because Patty went on, pardon my take, because he's a Barstool athlete. And he goes, I don't go to the barber. I go to a hairstylist. I got to get this laid. And I'm like, this dude really cares about his hair. And then it's like, there's not a ton of naturally blonde men out there, like, fighting at least. And I think that's natural. I mean, if not, I thought it was a great nomination.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so Timbo got Patty.
I think Oliveira will take it just because he's a champion. Just because he's a champion, though. That's,
gotcha.
But I really like this category, even if I butchered it in its early.
Well, it's funny because when I had no idea. I'd never seen the Blade movies, and I just pictured Wesley Snipes with blonde hair because of Demolition Man. So I go and I do Google searches for Blade to get the photo for this category, and I'm like, wait a second, he doesn't have fucking blonde. It's like, is there a Blade movie? Is there like Blade 2, Blade like Return of the Blonde? Like,
he doesn't have blonde in any.
Okay, yeah. All right. I had Blonde Brunson as my nomination. Listen, this is the guy that really, literally, I think I cheated by saying, instead of saying Derek, Blonde Brunson. This is a guy that kind of, we'll get, I'm getting feedback from his headphones, I think.
I heard it for a second, but it's good.
Yeah, it's gone. Okay. Oh, Well, let's turn this down. Yeah, so Blonde Brunson, I think I cheated a little bit with the whole, taking blonde instead of Derek, but I think he deserves it. I think this guy kind of put the blonde hair on the map. He's having an incredible resurgence of his career, and he's like 38, right? And he's gonna be fighting for a title soon. I mean, he's got one more win. I think he's fighting Cannonier, maybe. Whoever he's fighting next, he wins. He's gonna be fighting Whitaker or Izzy, and he destroyed my guy Till. So Timbo, you had Patty,
yeah,
great nomination. Charles Oliveira, Blonde Brunson. Who do you think took this one?
Let's not get it twisted. Blonde Brunson did not put it on the mat. He put it back on the mat. Kevin Randleman put it on the mat. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Kevin Randleman.
Did Izzy go blonde at one point?
He fought blonde. So he's fought blonde a few times, but never in the UFC.
Oh, is that right? Okay, I thought I'd seen him before.
So he's dyed his hair blonde, like in training camps when he's been in the UFC. He's dyed it pink. He's dyed it blonde, but he's never fought with it. Which
okay, God,
very
if he
upsetting.
does, man.
Oh, God, he's unstoppable.
But it's funny. So I just learned something today.
Yeah, I have a different one.
You had said that you said his hair was platinum. Now I've never heard that called until now. That blonde hair is called platinum.
Yeah,
and it just I think of Platinum Mike Perry, and he just dyed his hair blonde.
Blonde, yeah.
So. And I was like, why hasn't he been doing that? His name is Platinum Mike Perry. That's a real thing. So
because like the blonde that if you see Wesley Snipes in the background, that's like a yellow blonde. Mm-hmm. Like that's like a box blonde. Because my wife's a hairstylist, so I learned. So when I had my hair blonde, she's like, "Do you want it box blonde or do you want it platinum?" And I was like, "I want it like white. I want it like white blonde." Yeah, and she's like, "Okay, that's platinum." And I could have got it way whiter, but like when she put it on my hair, it like burned and I became a big pussy. Like, take it off. She's like, no, it's fine. It needs like 5 more minutes. So I rinsed it off. I was like, no, it's getting off my head now. And it was piss. It looks like someone took a piss in my hair. So we had to do it all over again. She's like, you have to fucking keep it on. I was like, okay, I'll fucking be a man, I guess. But this was actually a pretty good category. And surprisingly, Patty didn't get any votes.
Yeah, I really thought Blonde Brunson.
So it's Blonde Brunson who won. It was very close between Blonde and Charles Oliveira. I thought Patty would get a little bit of love, but I think people still kind of hate him a little bit. I think people are a little unsettled with him, right? But yeah, Blonde Brunson got all the votes on IG, and a couple people voted for Oliveira on Twitter. It was a pretty good poll, but yeah, Derek Blonde Brunson. I mean, this guy's having a career resurgence, but I do think Oliveira is a great fucking pick too, because I mean the guy's a fucking champion, and he started dying.
Brunson's phenomenal on Twitter too, so maybe he might.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll shout him out. We'll see.
Yeah.
I can see you being my guy award. So this is, if you listen to the podcast, I have my guys list, guys that I bet for, I root for, I go to bat for. You say something bad about them, I'm coming after you. So we all need a guy. Nominations are Alia Topora. That was Timbo's nomination, even though he hates Georgian fighters. Kind of a weird choice there. My nomination one is Ignacio Bahamondes. I dare you saying that name without getting your fucking dick hard. Ignacio Bahamondes. That guy fucks. And then Terrence McKinney was Christian. Terrence McKinney getting a little heat on Twitter because he keeps bringing up how he almost died and he knocks people out in 6 seconds. People are starting to get a little tired of him. How do you feel about Terrence McKinney? I like the guy. I think he's a great story. I think he's, could be a really good fighter.
Yeah, you asking me? All right. I like all three of these guys a lot. Ilia Topuria he's a future title contender. Mm-hmm. I think Ignacio Bahamondes might be the best name in all of MMA. I like McKinney a lot. I don't, I'm not super active on social media, so if things are going south for him, that's the thing. If you want to talk about that, you got to keep doing it. And it's like McGregor's shtick wears out when he doesn't win fights.
Well, it's not even like a stick. It's just like, they did a piece on him, and then he'll tweet something innocuous, and then someone comment like, "Hey, you haven't gone a day without tweeting about how you almost died and you knock people out in 6 seconds." Like people just troll him a little bit. He doesn't really feed into it, but it's actually kind of funny because it is a lot of his narrative or whatever. But yeah, you got to keep doing it. He had a fight booked against Ziam, got pulled. They rebooked out, I guess, in February. But I like McKinney a lot. I like everyone on this list, like you said. Ignacio, to me, probably isn't the most elite guy in this list. I think McKinney's going to have a really good run because great wrestling background as well, has big power as long as the cardio holds up. Ignacio looked great against, was 1-1 in the UFC, lost his debut against McDessie, and then knocked out Roosevelt Roberts with an awesome knockout. Could have been nominated for knockout of the year. And then Leo Torpora, just an absolute freak show of a fighter. So good. Was really good coming in the UFC, and is going to keep being really good. That was Timbo's nomination. Timbo, what do you like about Torpora?
The killer instinct. He's specifically in the fight with Ryan Hall. Like, all right, you're fighting this grappler guy. He wants to hold you. And to set the record straight, I don't hate Georgian fighters. I just hate crotch sniffers.
Crotch sniffers,
like Merab and Khabib. So they're easy to associate together. But I'm not a fan of his at all.
Gotcha.
Wish he would have got knocked out by Moraes, and he kind of did, but I wish he would have got finished.
Oh, he did. He got knocked out a few times. He came back.
Topuria, man, his just like the killer instinct I saw there. It's like, okay, like this is what I don't even know what. I know he's fucking young as shit. He's like 23 years old.
Yeah, young.
Was he
rich
he's lightweight?
too.
He's lightweight.
45.
Featherweight.
Yeah.
But also he was A1, and then I guess he was A, and then my A1. Just to give him a special shout out was definitely going to be Alex Pereira.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that guy.
That's right. You mentioned him on the text. Yeah. Because he's got all upside with that dude.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't feed him. Did you see him going back and forth with not to go off topic here, but he was going back.
Yeah. He's forth. Someone called him out and they said he turned it down. He goes, no, I just didn't know who you were.
He said he turned down a fight from somebody who's like a decision fighter. He's a grappler and he just wants to hold on to him.
I must have missed that one.
I'll look it up. But anyway, it's either Topuria, fucking killer, love him. I'll look up who Alex Pereira was.
Okay, Pereira's a good. I also was going to do Ian Gary, but I'm like, he was nominated twice. He's got the post fight nomination as well coming up, so I didn't want to go too heavy on him. I do like Ian Gary. I still want to see more of him. He's very, very young, but if I'm looking at this list and I'm looking at the next time they fight, who was it? Go ahead.
Oh well, him and Bruno Silva are about to be getting matched up. That's going to be a problem. But it was Krzysztof Jotko.
Yeah. Krzysztof Jotko. He smokes Jotko, though. I think because the one thing I love what Pereira did, which a lot of Brazilian fighters don't do, is he left Brazil. He used to train with Charles Oliveira at Shoot the Box.
Really?
And he goes, I want to do MMA. I'm getting older. That's where the money is. I mean, he's still kickboxing, making decent money, but he's like, I have a knockout over Adesanya. I have 2 wins over him, 1 crazy knockout. If I can get there, because he's already fought MMA at that point, if I can get there, I got money right there. So he left and went to Glover's gym in Connecticut, left sunny Brazil to go to Connecticut and train with Glover. And all Glover does is take him down and fucking beat on him. So, you know what I mean? So he's getting that takedown defense and learning how to get up and everything. So I love that move that he did. Him and Bruno Silva, absolute fucking banger of a fight. Can't wait for that fight. But if I'm looking at this list and all these guys are favorite and I have $100 bill to put on one of these fighters, I'm probably going to Topuria, if I'm being honest with you. I wouldn't be comfortable doing Baja Mendez. I just like the name. I like his story. I think he's a fun fighter. McKinney's only had 1 fight. He knocked out Frivola. We need more. Overwhelmingly, Topuria was the winner here. Topuria's, everyone's darling here. Young guy, fucking banger. Apparently banged out Valley Laredo as well.
No shit.
Yeah. Comes from a lot of money from his family, like drives around when he's back home in Georgia, drives around in fucking some crazy cars. So good for him. But you know what I mean? What he did with Ryan Hall, what he's done in the UFC so far, he's a fucking stud. Good choice there. Next up, I got next. Who's the next champion, baby? I had Yuri Prochazka because I think he might get the next title shot. December, it's 2022 now. This dude's still rocking John Jones. Ooh. And then Christian got Khamzat Chimaev, which is a good pick because Khamzat is the guy's absolute stud. I was wrong about him. Egg on my face, that's for sure. Timbo, I got to get some insight on the John Jones pick. You think he's fighting for heavyweight gold this year?
If not this year, then early next year.
Okay.
Because I think, so we've got Gan and Ngannou. I mean, he's going to fight the winner of that fight. Who else is there?
No, there's no one else. I mean, there's Stipe. But if John Jones tells UFC, I want the winner, I want that fight, they're going to give it to John Jones.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right.
And with these picks specifically, though, like, Yuri, I think, is without a doubt the best pick. He's in the perfect place. Like Khamzat's not really there yet, but he's obviously getting there. John Jones is like maybe past it, but
he's already been there. We're just looking at a different. Yeah. We're just looking at a different one. Yeah,
Yuri's like time is now. Like Jones is past. Khamzat's fucking future, and in a year he's present. But yeah, just with heavyweight, like okay, you want to like your heavyweight champ, like you got Stipe and fucking DC 3 times. That probably did decent selling, but like did it? Like, by the third time that fight happened, like okay,
I think the third one did the worst one. If I'm remembering the numbers correctly, 1 and 2 did well. 1 obviously being the best one, and then 2 doing well. But I think the third one, because it was during COVID, it was in the Apex. It was kind of it was I agree with you. I know what you're trying to say. Yeah,
and you look at the top contenders like Derek Lewis. Like, I mean, I get it. Like in Houston, he's good or whatever. He's not a 5-round fighter, and just not a John Jones. And not even that John Jones is some big mega star, but he's certainly got more star power than anybody in the heavyweight division, including Francis. Francis is just kind of a freak of nature to watch, but no one really knows shit about him.
Right.
So like, if that's the smart move to make, like, damn, dude, this is the greatest. This is what many call the greatest fighter of all time, and he hasn't fought in 2 years. Which former member of this podcast, Dev, had actually texted me and said that John Jones probably failed a drug test and is on a 2-year suspension.
Is that why? Is like
that's his hypothesis as far as
why he's been out.
He would be up to 4 because
he would be maybe
Nick Diaz territory.
Yeah.
That's what I
because he's had too many strikes against him. I think it's his personal life was obviously hanging on by a thread. Then you had the big blow up in Vegas. Then he got kicked out of his gym. Now he's making a possible move to Arizona with Cejudo, which I think is the best. Huh?
I've been seeing
he went to Cejudo's gym for like a week or so to see if that, because he's been training with Jackson, a couple of his guys in New Mexico in his garage, because Wink kicked him out of the gym. So he's still training with some of his coaches in his garage. I just don't know if he's got bodies, and that Fight Ready gym in Arizona is just producing killers. And I think you go down there, I think that's a whole different John Jones. You know what I mean? I think that's a good move for him. I think Jackson
in Arizona too. That makes sense.
I think Jackson Wink's actually slowing him down a little bit. You know what I mean? I think there wasn't that many people there anymore. I think a lot of the big bodies left. And that's what John Jones needs. I mean, he wants to size up. He wants to get to 280 and cut down to 65. He wants to be this big guy. That's great. But you got to have big bodies to train with. You can't be throwing around 55ers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Chimaev, which was Christian's nomination, the guy's a fucking superstar.
It's crazy.
The guy's a superstar. He's got so many followers on Twitter. I did not realize. First off, I slept on his talent. That's on me. Very, very good. And I slept on just recently how fucking big of a star he was. Like, he's crazy of a star. Did you realize that, Christian, when you nominated him? Is this who you would vote for still, Chimaev?
Yeah, so my thoughts when I was building this is kind of like I didn't want somebody that has a title shot. Like, does Jan count as a champion? And like, because I feel like he's easy to pencil in there. And so it's like somebody that's gonna get, it's just not clear. There's not clear. Like Amanda Nunes, easy. Like,
gotcha.
Right. Yeah, and I thought actually all 3 of these were really good because there isn't. It's like, it's like calling, you're like, I got next at a basketball game.
Yeah.
And you don't, so I did know he was a big star though, to answer your question.
Yeah.
I know, but you get that part of the world, you get the Muslim world behind you, as well as like, he does say, like the smash thing. And, I think he's able to connect kind of like Khabib. Like Khabib's hilarious, and able to connect with the Muslim and the Christian world or whatever.
Right. He's a Muslim. And then I've heard some interviews too, where like, he's kind of like very progressive with his thoughts, like Islam. And I think Khabib, who has never came out and said it, like they don't like women fighting. Right. Like Islam has came out and said women shouldn't be fighting or whatever. And he's like, what do you like? Women are some of the best fighters ever. Like he loves it. Like he's a little more progressive. I mean, he's younger too, but which I like too, because
and he grew up in Sweden, so that
right. He's from Chechnya, grew up in Sweden, right? And Sweden's very progressive, I guess. Yeah, that helps him. This one was actually surprising to me. I thought we all had really good votes. A buddy of mine at work who listens to the podcast liked John Jones a lot. Thought John Jones was a clear winner. When I told him John wasn't going to win, he was very upset and said, "I don't know why." And I thought Yuri was going to be the guy, but it's Chimaev again with the star power. Chimaev got a lot of the votes. People on IG were like, dude, Chimaev, 2 more fights, he's getting Usman and he's beating Usman, right? And I'm just like,
I believe that. I mean, and I believe that. And Usman has been, I've never lost, not well, anybody that's bet, I've never lost money on him, but
Yeah.
that's a guy that I've never even wavered in one of his fights. And
Right.
So yeah, it was that one. I believe it. It's not just like the McGregor one. Like I actually believe this.
Right. So my thing with Chimaev, and I believe in him now. I think he's a tremendous talent, but I still want to see a little bit of adversity. I want to see how he reacts to it. He hasn't had it yet.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Like he smashes Brada, we smash, and he just hasn't had it. And I think once he starts fighting, like Colby's calling him out, right? And the Bilal Muhammad's are calling him out. Bilal looked great against Steven. Bilal's hard to take down. Like those are fights I want to see happen. Like I'm excited for this guy. And I like the pick. I like the nomination. And this was a pretty good win for him here. I got next Khamzat Chimaev. All right, Hungry Dogs, go ahead.
My bad.
Yeah.
So at the Fury thing, I saw because Neil Magny's been calling him out, and I think Neil Magny seemed like the best choice, and Dana kind of agreed too. And then Neil Magny went out and got like submitted in like a minute by some old Antonio Silva guy, right? Not Bigfoot, but some other guy. Do you think that hurt his chances at all? Yeah,
because Magny got fucking ragdolled by Chiesa when they fought. Chiesa ragdolled Magny for 5 rounds. Like fucking Chimaev is gonna murder Magny. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. 2 fights ago, before Chimaev did that to the Leech, I'm like, I think Magny's a good stepping stone for him. Now I'm like, fuck that, give him Bilal.
Wow, you know what I mean? Still big on the Leech, huh?
I think listen, I can't take back what I said. Okay. I just can't take it back. I'm big on the fact of how he handled the Leech, right? Like destroying the Leech like that, regardless of how wrong I was for him being a good fighter, no one has done that to him, right? And that's pretty fucking impressive. But I want to see him fight Bilal, right? I said on the podcast that people are afraid of this guy. No one's calling him out. Like Gilbert Burns was like, wait till he gets up there and then I'll fight. And then no. Bilal Muhammad said it best. If I don't get a title shot, this is the next biggest fight. Mm-hmm. This guy's got fucking 5 million Instagram followers. He's got fans all over the world. Everyone's talking about this guy. If I don't get a title shot, this is the better than fight number 2. And you got to agree with them, right? He just beat Wonderboy Thompson. He's in the top 8, top 6, whatever he is. I don't know his ranking. Fight Chimaev. And I think they're going to put that together in the beginning of the year. I think maybe March is looking fucking sick with some of these fights in March. So maybe March or April for these fights. All right, biggest dog upset. Hungry Dog run faster. Got a little time. I'm the dog, the big bad dog. You want to get your dad in here, Christian?
He's not back from the beach, but I will when he gets here.
Man, what's up, dog? Biggest dog upsets. I think, unfortunately, I think we're all going to know who's going to win this one. There's no real spoilers here. Pena chokes out Nunes. Unbelievable. Nate the Train subs Klein. That was my vote. I thought that was unbelievable. Nate the Train subbing Ludwig Klein, even though Ludwig Klein stinks. I thought that was a really nice number. And then Anthony Hernandez, subbing Vieira was an absolute crazy number as well. Do you guys want to talk about this one? You want to move forward? I mean, we all know who wins, unfortunately.
It's I'll take it real quick. It's crazy because the Fluffy subs Vieira fight, that's a very good pick. And I was like thinking to myself, did that happen last year? Like I remember that. Like what I was doing when it happened, I was like, that was last year. It was January of last year, but nonetheless, it was last year, and that's a really good one. That's a very underrated one.
Yeah,
that February, one. Excuse me, it was February. But regardless,
well, because Rodolfo Vieira is one of the best competition jiu-jitsu players in the world. Like this guy murders people, and Fluffy Hernandez, I mean, not great. Has a good darts choke, but not great, and he fucking taps these guys. That's the one thing about Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys, man, is cardio makes them a coward. Look at Santos, another competition, credible jiu-jitsu fighter. Got tired against Guida and just quit. Vieira tired and quit. It's happened countless times because a lot of these jiu-jitsu guys, they don't want to fucking train wrestling. They don't want to do this. They go, jiu-jitsu is live. And then they get fucking tapped out when they get punched a few times. But yeah, I mean, listen, this is Juliana Pena. I mean, come on. I mean, she made the GOAT woman fucking quit And I know she won by choke, but she won by heart. She won by, all right, I got dominate the first round. Guess what, bitch? I'm coming out here. We're trading jabs and we're throwing down. And I ain't taking a back step. And Nunes thought, okay, well, I'll just throw my power, overthrew her shots, got fucking tired and quit. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I love Amanda Nunes. I do. I think she's the GOAT or was the GOAT. I think now you kind of got to give Valentina her shine.
She hasn't even fought the GOAT yet because the GOAT's Valentina. But that's another. That's
another topic. That's another topic. You made me lose another button here. Another button's down. You're getting me hot. This shirt's gonna be off by the time this is over. No, I have to agree with you though. At this point, because I don't see Valentina quitting. You know what I mean? Like that bitch is nails. She eats nails. And Nunes quit. I think she looked great on the scales. I think 135 was a tough man. A tough weight cut for her, and I think she blew it all in that first round. And Pena's a dog. I never in a million years would have got that right. I would have never picked Juliana Pena. And listen, that is an incredible performance, incredible win. Happened last fight of the year. There was a lot of good upsets, but that was clearly the biggest one. Mm-hmm. Patrick Swayze fight of the year. The last award, Memorial, excuse me. I feel like we forgot one.
The post-fight interview.
Post-fight interview. Yeah. That's what we did. Shit. Sorry, I didn't make a
favorite category. I
didn't make a slide for the post-fight interview. That's what it was. I have 28 slides here. I should have 15 awards. So I'm sorry, Christian. I have the winners though. Nate the Train won. Sorry, I didn't make the thing. Nate the Train won, and then Ian Gary came in second, and then Cosmot had like 2 votes. Because that was my vote. Timbo voted for Ian Gary, but Nate the Train over Klein. Nate the Train, baby, tagging over. When he shouts out his area.
Yeah, they ain't gonna respect these hands. It's like I need him to keep respecting these hands.
I still got a job, man. It was fucking great. It was a phenomenal, and I can't believe. What probably happened was I was all week. I was trying to get the video clips uploaded, and I just didn't add the slide. So I apologize. That was a good fight. Post-fight interview of the world. Nate the Train. If you were watching this, listening to this, whatever, type Nate the Train interview. It's on YouTube. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
All of them are.
Yeah, they all are.
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze fight of the year, Memorial fight of the year. Patrick Swayze is the guy can fight. He can dance. He can fuck. He can sing. This guy is the ultimate man's man, and we all miss him. We all miss him, right? Funny enough, Patrick Swayze didn't go by Patrick. Didn't go by Swayze, which is one of the coolest fucking last names in the world. He went by Buddy. Buddy, right. Call me Buddy. That's what people call it. Call me Buddy. Fight of the year though: Kamaru Usman, Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway. I obviously had Usman. I thought what he did this year was phenomenal. I think that was kind of the square pick. I think a lot of people would vote Usman. Oliveira is another guy who had a phenomenal year as well. And then Max Holloway, surprise pick. Who had Max again? Was that you, Christian?
It wasn't me.
Oh, Timbo.
Okay.
It wasn't me. It was not me.
It was not you.
Oh, so no. I must have picked.
I think it was you.
I got next pick too.
Yeah. So give me. Yeah, he did get next, and he did get next. He's fighting. He might not win, but he's got next.
He's already won one of them.
That's right. Yeah. It's gonna be a great fight. I actually just rewatched, because I've been just in bed, like dreaming of fight. So instead of fucking going on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all that bullshit, I pull up Fight Pass and watch or ESPN Plus or whatever and watch the.
How did you score that when you rewatched the second one? I haven't rewatched it, so I'm curious.
Second one I had for Max.
That's what I thought too.
He dropped him twice. I thought he won the first 3 rounds, and then he faded a little bit, which is surprising. But that was the middle of COVID. And he's like, I literally trained via Zoom, and he was true. All his coaches like, we literally couldn't train. We would get arrested in Hawaii if we trained. So he slowed down for sure in those 4th and 5th, and Volkanovski came on. First fight was really close too. The first fight was really close. I think I edged it to Volkanovski just because of the leg kicks and the volume. But the second fight, Max 1 through 3 for sure. I mean, he dropped him with a head kick and he dropped him something else in the other. Yeah, I mean, he just slowed down a little bit. But Holloway has looked phenomenal since then. Yair Rodriguez was an incredible fight. It was a good pick. Charles Oliveira, Another good pick. He's the champion. What he's done in the best weight class in the UFC is nothing short of impressive. My only critique is he's almost lost both those fights. He got dropped by Chandler. He got dropped by Poirier. But I think that maybe even adds to the fact of what kind of fighter he is, what kind of fucking champion he is. That was the thing that I kept bringing up, was that he quit. He's a quitter. Yeah, he quits. And he had every opportunity to quit in those fights, and he fucking didn't, right? Especially the Chandler fight. Chandler fucking rocked him bad. So Oliveira's a great pick. And then my guy Usman, one of the single greatest 170-pound years you see. 170-pound always has, from GSP on, they always got that one guy because 170 pounds is the most universal weight class. Most people you meet that are bigger guys, they probably would fight at 170. Like, it's the standard size. So it has a lot of fucking legit athletes that can go down there. Kamaru Usman did a phenomenal job.
Oh god, yeah, three of his fights were in 2021.
Were two of them again? So two are Masvidal though?
No,
Gilbert, Masvidal. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the Masvidal Abu Dhabi, the Masvidal
Abu
Dhabi decision was 2020.
July
2021,
okay,
he knocked him out, knocked out Burns, and then the Colby fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I blanked the Burns one, but it makes that run that much more impressive because that Burns fight was a good one.
Yeah,
for as long as it lasted.
So who do you guys think won this one?
Probably Usman.
Usman.
He should, for sure.
It was Oliveira won on Twitter. He won the poll on Twitter. My buddies were split. They went Holloway and Usman, and then Instagram was split. It was very, very close. And for my calculations, it came down to 2 votes. It was Kamaru Usman champion.
Yeah.
Wow. Fight of the year. Excuse me, fight of the year. It came down. It was him and Oliveira. And Holloway was right there as well. He was a little, obviously came in third, but Oliveira put up a great year. But Usman with those 3 wins, man, knocking out Masvidal, which you're going to see that highlight forever. The finish of Burns, which was sick, which is probably almost impossible to do. This is a guy that was his main training partner and cornered him, and then he cornered him. They're like best buds. And then he left to go to Colorado. I was like, well, fuck, we got to fight. You know what I mean? That's probably really tough to do. And then the Colby fight, the third fight, and the Colby, or second fight, the third fight of the year, probably his least best performance, in my opinion. I thought he won, but it was very competitive. I think that speaks to how good Colby is. I think Colby came in with a little bit of a weird game plan at first. I thought maybe if he really mixed some things up, it could have made problems with Usman. I will say this about Usman though, right? And I love the guy. And he won Patrick Swayze Memorial Fight of the Year. He won. Way to go, Usman. But he's been getting exposed a little bit. He's getting doxxed online. So there's this YouTube channel that digs into fighter socials and all this stuff and yada yada. And apparently he follows a doctor who's only got 100 followers. And Usman has commented and liked his stuff on Instagram. The guy tracked that doctor who had a private account. He got accepted to follow him. That doctor runs a medical lab or is part of a medical lab owner or whatever, and they produce synthetic TRT. So he's connecting dots of Mr., the CEO of EPL, as Colby calls him. Listen, that's not a good look. You gotta clean it up, Usman, right? If you're gonna be taking that shit, cool. Don't be liking some fucking doctor that no one knows, and then they track him to what he owns, dude. You know what I mean? You already got this fucking reputation of maybe you're taking this shit, and that doesn't help your fucking case, man.
Yeah, he's a fucking mammoth for welterweight,
big boy.
It does not make. He looks like John Jones, just even more ripped. He looks like prime time John Jones.
He'd be up for body of the year.
Yeah, I just don't know where does he cut the weight at? He cuts his weight. So he's not the tallest guy, but he's got a fucking huge head. His legs are kind of skinned. Yeah, his legs. You carry a lot of your weight in your legs. So that's it. That's the award show, baby. All the awards got handed out. It was a fantastic year. I'm glad we.
Shirt.
Oh, fuck it.
Take it off. Take it off.
We're done.
Hey, baby. Yeah.
I feel so exposed. I was the first time I looked at myself. I see my giant nipple come out. I'm like, oh, maybe I should. I got self-conscious. I was looking right at myself. I got self-conscious. All right, we'll just do this, baby. We'll just do this.
But back to Charles Oliveira, though, who also had a great 2021. I have lost money on this dude dating back to whichever one came first, Kevin Lee or Tony Ferguson. I bet
Kevin Lee came first. Yeah,
I bet Tony Ferguson against him. I bet fucking Dustin Poirier against him. I bet fucking Mike Chandler against him. And I'm probably going to bet whoever he fights next against him.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. He's one of those guys. So I actually had him in the Tony fight because I thought Tony was done. I didn't think he dominated Tony like that, but I had him in the Tony fight. But I bet against him in the Chandler fight and I bet against him in the Poirier fight. So my track record with him is not great either. But I mean, he's getting better. He's getting confident. He's getting it done. I mean, the guy can't see in there either. Like he's blind as a fucking bat. Like they want him to get LASIK. The UFC's like willing to pay him to get LASIK, and I think he's like afraid to do it. Like, I mean, I don't know what LASIK's like in Brazil, but maybe fly him to fucking, California or something. That
send it to my guy in Denver.
You get that done in like a fucking day.
Did you have it? You have it, Christian?
Yeah, I mean, you could do it with like a FSA or what is it, like a flexible spending. I did it in like January, so it was like tax deducted anyways. Yeah, it was like the best $2-3 I ever spent. I did it like 15 years ago, I think.
Oh, were you like a big glasses? Because I'm supposed to wear glasses. I don't. I can't see.
-3 in both eyes, so my contacts were -3. So that's what my contacts were, at least in both eyes. So not bad. I mean, not bad, but I couldn't watch TV or anything.
See, I can see all that. It's the distance thing, and I remember. Yeah. I remember riding with my supervisor at work. You do that, the yearly ride-alongs or whatever. The supervisor. No, so they ride like a safety ride along with you, right? And I'm friends with this guy or whatever. We bust each other's balls and we ride in. I'm looking and there's condos, and every condo we deliver to, the numbers are all weird. Like this would be 101. So you're like, oh, 102 is right next to it. And it's like 117. You're like, wait, what the fuck? How is that next to it? So I'm trying to look at this number and I'm looking, I can't see it. And he's like, you can't see that right there? Like, no, he's like, yeah, I can see it clear as day. Do you need glasses? Let me see your license. And I'm like, oh, because my license says wear glasses. No, yeah. And I'm like, I change subjects real quick. Like, oh, so your daughter's getting married, huh? Yeah, that's cool. And he didn't check my license, but yeah, it had corrective lenses on there. And then for some reason, when I got my license renewed a couple years ago, I fucking passed the eye exam. I didn't need the corrective lenses. But yeah, distance is bad. Like I can see everything up close fine, but yeah, it's bad, especially at night too. Like at night driving, if the ground's wet, I mean, look out. I'm running. I've probably ran 10 people over this. Haven't caught me yet. I can't see a fucking thing. Oh, that's it. But I'm glad we did this. An incredible show. We gave out some incredible awards. I'm gonna tweet out all the graphics, and Instagram and all that stuff too. But the one main thing for me, this is important, is we got this out of the way, and now we're on the fights. A week from this Saturday. 8 days away or whatever it is, 9 days, 8 days, we got fights. And we got fucking NFL playoffs with my Bengals in there. So lot to be happy for your boy here, okay? And I'm going heavy on because I took all my money out of my FanDuel's account, and I had a little bit in DraftKings, not much. I got to reload up, and I'm reloading up. I'm glad this furnace thing didn't cost me much because I would have dipped into my gambling money. But I'm reloading up, and I think I'm just going to let it ride.
Any news on Ohio?
Well, yeah. So New York just passed. So New York was one of the. So New York, not only did it just pass, but they're one of the quickest states to do the turnaround. So they passed, and their mobile betting is available this Saturday in the state of New York.
No shit.
That's so much money to go to New Jersey.
Oh my God. With 4 books. So they have 4 online books available. They all bid it, and one Barstool wasn't one of them. Barstool lost out. But you got your DraftKings, your FanDuel, and there's Caesars, and there's one other
MGM, one.
Maybe, yeah. So this Saturday, you can bet legally in New York mobily. So they were the first state to do it as quickly as they did. So what I'm hearing about Ohio is March is when the things are going to really start getting rolling because that's when people can submit applications. And then I think they're going to try to get it. I mean, if you're Ohio, get that shit done before March Madness if you have any fucking kind of brains. But I think realistically, I think it's going to be fall, the start of the NFL next season. And then January is the cutoff, so no more applications can come next January, a year from now. But hopefully Hard Rock Casino, downtown Cincinnati, just got redone to Hard Rock. It is fucking, I mean, it's one of the nicest casinos I've ever been in. It's non-smoking, food's great. I mean, it's fucking awesome. If they get the fights and because they'll get gambling, they'll get sports book before the online bets, the online books do. Always brick and mortar gets them first. I'll watch every fight there. I'll go there. It's that fucking nice. They got chairs. I mean, it's sick. It is so good. So, but yeah, I'm hoping if they were smart, let's go March, right? But I'm
Get those
jealous,
sign-up
you guys.
bonuses. Get those
Yeah,
get the sign-up boys.
every single book, no matter how shitty it is. Like, just take, when your guy Izzy fights, put 50 units, like, and just do it. Do it on one of those.
Well, they got the $3,000 bets.
Yeah. So it's like if you lose it, like on FanDuel, their site credit is as good as cash.
I love it.
So
if I did 50 units, like that's why I could never be like a professional, like give up everything to do this. If I did 50 units, I'd be a fucking nervous wreck. I'd be fucking like, I couldn't even watch the fight. I wouldn't even enjoy it. I'd just be like this, like fucking a little kid during a scary movie. I'd be fucking terrified. Maybe I'll get there if my bankroll gets fat enough. We're looking to have a banger year here. I'm trying to prove all the numbers. My bankroll gets fat enough. Maybe 50 units.
Caesars has got a $3 or $5 risk free. But I think doesn't Caesars right now in some states is $5. So your first bet, if you don't win it, $5,000.
I've seen $2,000, but $5,000 wouldn't surprise me either. Like they're serious about this shit. I've already wasted all mine on like $100 bets.
They're all gone.
I remember when I was doing MMA betting and I was doing over-unders NFL with Boveda. This is obviously before anything was legalized. The law it was so illegal. And I remember I had 3,700 in there for like a year and a half. I wouldn't withdraw because they wouldn't let me withdraw first off. And I remember just going, I'm fucking, I was chatting with them, trying to get a couple hundred out here and there. They wouldn't let me do it. I literally typed in 3,700 on like a different fight, a different game, like just bet it all in one game. I literally typed it in my phone and just stared at it. And I never had the balls to because I've never placed a bet that big. I've never had the balls to do that. People are listening to this who are fucking, gamblers going, dude, I do fucking 5K a fight. That's my unit. We're not there yet. We'll get there, boys. We'll get there, boys. I was going to up my units this year to 200. My units were going to be 200 this year in January, but since I took all the money out and I wasn't planning on doing that. I took the money out and fucking spoiled the kids during Christmas and got the wife a expensive ass blender. I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe March. Maybe the first
6 months, little quarter.
Yeah, quarter of the way through. What kind of
first quarter does?
Yeah, we'll kind of ease into it. And we'll see. Maybe I'll test it out because I started off 20, quickly went up to 40. And then I was stuck on 60 units forever. I was afraid to make that jump to 100. But then I'm like, 100 is just such a good, solid number.
It is such an easy number.
Yeah, it's just such an easy number to do.
Your strategy when you can bet like from your couch, your strategy will change. You might put those bets down, but you might like while you're there be like, oh shit, I want $20 on this plus 2,000 sub. I have it. And like, it's like every bet won't be. You'll see a lot of sprinkles, like round 3, round 5, round 2 sprinkles.
And that's the thing. I've been watching MMA for so long that I do have like a good intuition. I do think I'm going to be a good live bettor. I better knock on wood. I could be absolute dog shit, but I do feel like I do have a good feel of fights going on. Like when a guy loses the first round, but you see some like maybe momentum coming on him, and the lines like he's like plus 1,000. You're like, wait, what a second. Like this is turning around right now. You know what I mean? Like I wish I had those opportunities, but soon enough, either that or I'm moving. So I mean, there's two options. Either Ohio's coming quick or I'm moving. That's it.
Just got to turn around those prop bets this year.
Props are rough. I was literally thinking about that. I'm already digging into the Giga Cater card, and I'm just kind of looking through and going like, and I'm just picking money lines right now and then kind of building parlays, and then I'm just like. Because like I told myself, you're gonna really invest in props. I haven't looked at one prop yet. I'm afraid of it. Like it's like the boogeyman to me. I can't win shit, so I'm like, I'm afraid of it. All right, boys. Podcast has been fun. You guys got my shirt halfway off. This is great. Island boy. Thanks for doing this, boys.
See you, bros.
See you next week. You next year. You almost said see you next year joke. I caught you, and I'm glad I did, and it's recorded.